My name is Rita Forrester, and I'll be your host for the evening. Mighty glad to see everybody out tonight to see Ralph too and the Clinch Mountain Boys. How many of you are first-time visitors to the fall, not been here? We're mighty glad to have you, and we hope if it's your first visit, it'll be one of many more to come. We are in our 51st year presenting bluegrass and old-time music every Saturday. We now have our season run from March to the end of November, but we've been doing this a long, long time, so come back and visit us again if you're a first-time visitor. And we're trying to capture the places you're visiting from, so when I call that out, you raise your hand up and holler, because I can't see in the dark where you are. Oregon, we're folks from Oregon. Way up top, welcome. Georgia, hey, welcome to Georgia. South Carolina, okay, welcome. Indiana, welcome to you folks. Ohio, welcome to y'all. Wisconsin, welcome to the folks from Wisconsin. And right around the corner, Michigan, welcome. And North Carolina, welcome to y'all. And I know we have one foreign group of visitors, and that they're from the Netherlands. So where are y'all? Did we miss anybody? Did I miss any states or foreign countries? West Virginia. Florida. Washington State, or just anybody else? Maine, welcome to y'all. We're mighty glad to have somebody out. How many? I guess the Netherlands, folks from the Netherlands, make your way up. We have a tradition of giving away a hat. It's from Virginia Tourism, and they want you to know that not only is Virginia for lovers, it is especially for music lovers. So you wear that back to the Netherlands with pride and tell them about the good music you heard in Southwest Virginia. They're one of our sponsors. I'll mention our other sponsors quickly. They're the Bryant Label Company, Bristol Courtyard Marriott, WETS-FM, and Scott County Telecom, who provide our Wi-Fi. And if y'all will give a nice hand to everybody you see, we're volunteers that run it. Somehow it all comes together. It's so nice. Making sure it's a miracle, but some way it does. We want you to remember our pastor in your prayers. Her mother passed away this morning, Miss Jane, so say a prayer for our pastor, Miss Vicki. And if you didn't get a chance to visit the museum and the cabin, they're just next door. They'll reopen at Intermission. Both are historic landmarks. Our church, Mount Vernon Methodist, it's also a historic landmark. There's services there tomorrow at 10. You'd be welcome. There's no dress code. I assume there's services. I don't know if the death interrupted. I imagine there'll be a guest speaker. But you would be welcome at Mount Vernon with open arms. And we'll tell you about, I guess next week we have the Crooked Road Ramblers. And at Mount Vernon, are y'all singing at Mount Vernon the rest of them? The Russ family, our friends that are volunteering all over, they're singing at church tomorrow. And the speaker is Josh Johnson. So go and enjoy the Russ family's music. And we have a special show in June the 21st, Appalachia Rising, featuring Jim Lauderdale, Trey Hensley, and Hogslop. And then our festival, July 26th, will feature Dan Tominski and the Empty Bottle String Band. So come out and join us for that if you like. Are y'all ready to hear some really fine bluegrass music? Family calling welcomes to Ralph Stanley II and the Clinch Mountain Boys.
Great to be back here at the Carter Fold. We was scheduled to be here, I believe, last October, and we all know the Hurricane Helene come through. That was very, very, very sad and very bad, and so we had to try to find a rescheduled date, and we put it on this weekend. And I used to play here quite regular every year. Some of y'all might remember. I've been here through the years. We used to play here about this time every year. So we hope y'all enjoy some of the Clinch Mountain style and Route 2 style with it. And all the Clinch Mountain boys here tonight, we're going to do our best to pick and sing for you, the best we know how. And I appreciate y'all coming out and being with us. We're going to, the first song there was written by my Uncle Carter Stanley. He was one of the best songwriters that bluegrass or country music ever knew. And he died in 1966, and then my dad carried the band on. But he wrote How Mountain Girls Can Love, and if I ain't mistaken, he might have wrote this song too. It's called Stone Walls and Steel Bars.
All for
steel bars. That goes back to the 1950s as well in this band. And the good Lord lets us see 2026 and travel. Stanley leading the Clinch Mountain Boys next year will be 80 years if the good Lord blesses us to get back. I want to introduce you now to the fiddle player, and after he does this fiddle tune, we're going to go back to 1947 and do an old number. And this gentleman right here has been with me, he's been with me 3.5, I believe, 3.5 years, and does a great job. He's one of the finest fiddlers in the business, and I know a lot of y'all here come out here and like to dance. So this is your tune right here, I'll tell you. He does a great job, and he'll be playing some mandolin for you here in a little while as well. During those 3.5 years, he's only missed 3 shows. He's been late on 5, and he's been drunk on 16. And he's also the biggest liar in the country. Let's make him feel real welcome. Born and raised in Ohio, living in the state of Kentucky. Let's give Stanley a great big party. Drove all the way from Lancaster, Kentucky, missed sound check, got here about 5 minutes before we went on stage. He likes to live on the edge until he falls off. No, I'm just picking on you a little bit. Good job, Stanley. Like I said, we're going to go back to 1947. Stanley Brothers started this Clinch Mountain Board Band, and it was 1946. And my Uncle Carter served in World War II, and my dad did too. And Carter got out before he did, and then when Dad got back, before he went home, him and Carter got together, played on a radio station in Norton, Virginia, WNBA, and wasn't long after that, they started Stanley Brothers and the Clinch Mountain Boys, and they started pretty much out here in Bristol. Farm and Fun Time was they started that program. That was a real popular show, y'all, and a lot of history of country music, just like the Carter family created you know, they created country music in the 1920s, and my dad was a huge Carter family fan. Done a lot of Carter family songs and done them in the Stanley style, like Will You Miss Me When I'm Gone and all of those numbers. But anyway, this is one of my favorites, and I know Keith Whitley and Ricky Skaggs used to sing this one a lot back in the day, and when they was in the Clinch Mountain Boys. It's called A Little Glass of Wine. Jerry, we'll send this out to you. I know you like them old numbers, and we'll do our best for you if we can remember the words to it. Got a little girl that's gonna get married. I love you so great, I can't slide me. I work for you, but playing her. And how many little ones? Oh, the evening, the sport consider. We're both too young to be married now. When we're married, we're bound together. Let's stay single just 1 more year. If I can get this little more guitar and the monitor up here, I'll be tickled. Is y'all hear good out there? Just a little bit more from me up here then. We're going to introduce you here to the 5-string banjo player. And actually, if you want want to, Curtis, why don't you do a little Maggie instead of that other one? Because I know they like to dance here, so we need to do something faster after we've done that slower one. But anyway, he's 19 years old, girls, and he's never been married.
What's the difference, Ralph?
Well, I reckon when you get murdered, you're going right then. And when you get married, you just sort of ooze out there. Something like that. But he, like I said, he's only 19 years old. He lives up in Akron, Ohio, not far out of Cleveland, Ohio. So he drives all the way from Cleveland, pretty much all the way to Coburn, Virginia, a lot to get on the bus when we take it. And we normally take the bus everywhere we go, but we didn't tonight because our bus driver had to have some dental work done, so he's out of commission for a day or two. But he does a great job, and he must love what he's doing to do that, because that's a lot of dedication. But he's a fine young man. He's, you know, he needs to be a man with it. Believe me, right here, he's a good one, and he's done nothing but be there to help me a lot. He helps me sell my records, and he does a lot of stuff for me, and I appreciate him for that too. And it don't take you long to figure out who his favorite banjo player was when you hear him play, but he's got his own style with it. But he can also play like other great artists as well, which we'll show you here in a little bit. But we're going to turn him loose for you now on an old timer called Little Maggie, and let's give Curtis Coleman a nice hand in with him. Thank you so much. Good job, Curtis. Curtis hopes to have a new CD out by our Memorial Day weekend Bluegrass Festival. Dr. Ralph Stanley's Memorial 54th Annual just about an hour from here, a little over an hour maybe, over out of Coburn, Virginia. We got a few flyers left on it over here. Y'all pick one up. Come be with us. And I want to tell you another thing we're going to be debuting. I've got a new song coming out soon that will just be a single. I've got a whole album done. But how many of y'all here remembers the old song that my dad made famous along with Patty Loveless too, Pretty Polly? Yeah! All right. So anyway, I've got my songs coming out called Polly's Revenge. So I'm going to debut it at the Hills of Home on that weekend. It's the first time I'm saving it till then, and it won't be on the radio either, but I'm going to sing it up there at the festival. So all weekend, so y'all be sure and try to come. But trust me, I think this is my best song I've done in a long time, and if you know the history of that song, you're really going to like it. Trust me, I believe in that, don't you boys? It's a good one. So I want you to come to the festival anyway, but that is a good reason to make you want to come to here that I asked to be. So hopefully I'll get everybody motivated to come on up to the Stanley Brothers old home place there between Coburn and McClure, Virginia. So right now we're going to introduce you to a gentleman that was with me on and off about 3.5 years, mostly off though. But now he played lead guitar for me, played a lot of lead and rhythm, and we mixed it up, and he stayed with me, like I said, about 3.5 years, and he's filling in tonight. He's playing the bass. Our normal bass player, Randall Hibbett's bus driver, had to have a little dental work done, like I said earlier, and so he's filling in for Randall, doing a good job on the bass. What do y'all think so far? But, yeah, that's right. But he comes from up around Orange, Virginia is where he was born and raised, and appreciate you coming down filling in with us tonight. And he's going to do you an old Don Reno and Red Smiley number, and we're going to kind of have a little fun with this one, and it's called Love, Please Come Home. Let's give Caleb Shiflin a nice hand here tonight. Yeah, go ahead.
This man standing 2 spots down from me, he needs no introduction. One of the best guys in the business, Grammy nominated, Grammy winner. He's a real good friend of mine. If I called him and needed something, I know he'd drop everything he was doing and help me out. One of the best bosses I've ever had. I ain't gonna say the best, I don't want his head to get any bigger than it is. But he's your friend, he's my friend, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ralph Stanley II.
That's a song I got recorded over here on one of my later bluegrass albums, Henry Brown. That was a pretty popular song for us. And I'd like to do you a song now. I believe we can get a little dancing to it. I kind of wrote this song off the melody a little bit of a George Jones song, Why Baby Why, just a little bit. But I wrote this song, and it was the title of my first Grammy-nominated album of my career back in 2002. And you can see the vinyl albums over here. There's only going to be maybe 500 made total because it never was available on vinyl at all. And so since it was my first Grammy-nominated album, and also this is my 30th year I've been making a living doing this in this business. You can see up here, I'm getting a little gray. My wife was over to the lake the other day and the sun was really hitting me. She said, "My God, you're getting really gray-headed, right?" I said, well, thank you, honey, I appreciate it. I know you've always been there for me. But getting back, well, while she's standing back here, I want y'all to meet my wife, if she'll step out here. 24, 25 years is coming August, if she'll stay with me a few more months. Step right out here, Christy Stanley. Y'all give my wife. 25 years coming up. We're going to stick it out with a few more months. All right, appreciate it. Love you. She's been a good wife. But anyway, so this album, only 500 of them. I wrote the song that's titled to my first Grammy nominated album. I told you all that. So if anybody wants one, I'll be glad to sign it, and I can leave the plastic on it and all that for you. I'll fix it. I'll be glad to autograph one so y'all come down and check it out. But we'll sing the song now. It's called Stanley Blues. It's bluegrass, so we're ready to go. We're gonna retry every soul. Like a lonesome sound of a whippoorwill, crying along on top of a hill. It'll break your heart right clean in two. You'll be singing at a moment of Stanley Blues. So anyway, like I said, that's I believe I've written about 20 songs in my career as well, and that's one of them. And I want to trying to think here. I know we're going to do 2 sets tonight, so we got time to probably do a commercial and well, actually, I'm going to say Ring Stranger for the next set, because I want to do a song here that I've not done in years. I want to close the first set with a slow, sad song. That's okay, but we're coming back to heat it back up a little bit. But I recorded a song on one of my albums over here called Moms Are the Reason Wildflowers Grow. It is Mother's Day weekend. So I want to sing that and close out this first set in honor of all the mothers, our mother, my mom, y'all's mom, mother, everybody like that. So Curtis, I want you to maybe tell them about some other things we have. We've got 2 knives over there, I believe, right? And so after that, we'll close the first set with Moms Are the Reason Wildflowers Grow.
Well, I'd like to tell everyone in between sets, come over to the record table and, shake and howdy and whatever. Get a CD, we'll sign it for you if you want. We got some really good CDs. His project, this one is 2, that's a great one. He's got his new bluegrass one, a gospel one out, a couple other things. He's got a DVD with Keith Whitley on it from back in the 70s, and it's actually in color. So that's something really good to see, and it's a live show. It's got a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. Bill Monroe's on there, and a lot of other really famous people. It's really something. We got a couple hats over there. I think I'll be putting out a couple more hats. Looks like we sold some of them, but I know he's got a shirt on. He's got one medium long sleeve shirt, so if anyone wants that, come get that. He's got 2 knives for sale tonight. I think his 30th anniversary knife. He's only going to have 100 of them made, and I think he sold maybe 50 or more already. So there's about 70 sold, so they're going quick for sure. So make sure you get one of those. And he's got his vinyl. Rebel put out the vinyl, like he said. I think there's only going to be about 500 copies made, or somewhere around there. So that's kind of a limited edition also. So make sure to come by, and I think we'll have something for everyone. Stanley, do you have your stuff? Stanley's got some CDs and everything, so we'll have something for everyone. And if anything, just come shake howdy with us. So thank you.
Yeah, y'all be sure and also grab a flyer on that Dr. Ralph Stanley Memorial Festival. But this song, like I said, this was my dad's favorite song off this record that I done back in the day. It's called This One Is Two. And I remember recording this, and it's just a beautiful song, and it'll just grab you hard, and I'll do my best to sing it like I did on that album. And I guess this is the first time that I've ever done it with this band. I had a different band on there, but I want to do this for all the mothers, like I said, because ain't nothing you ever want to beat your mama, trust me. Your mother will be there for you when nobody else will, believe me, and you boys know that. So we'll send this out to y'all. And like I said, we'll be doing a lot of fast numbers on the next show, so y'all come down here and see us. We'll be back probably in 15 minutes.
Folks, we're going to take a break. Remember to visit them at the merchandise table. You can visit the museum or the cabin. There are restrooms on either side. Food here and hard souvenirs over here. So stretch your legs and shortly with the second set. Give a warm welcome back to the stage to Ralph 2 and the Clinch Mountain Boys.
One, two, one. Check, 1, 2. Takes a worried man to say a worried song. Takes a worried man to say a worried song. Takes a worried man to
set with the old Carter family classic, Working Man Blues. That's one of my favorite songs all through the years, and that's one that the Stanley brothers took and Dad done all through the years. And loved it, grew up on the Carter family. Singing that one, so we wanted to kick off the show with that. And I want to send out a song to Keith and Karen and Russ out here. It's good to have y'all with us tonight. And one of your favorite songs, Karen, is Rank Stranger. And Rank Stranger is, I guess, one of the most popular songs that's ever been through this Clinch Mountain all through the years. If you ask anybody, that's the one that, and I guess if I had to pick one, I always loved them all, but if I had to pick one, I had no choice but to pick one. I'd have to say Rank Stranger would probably be in it as well. I do want to mention before we sing it too, you know, my dad was a Grand Ole Opry member. They made him a member in 2000. It was January 15th, 2000. And yes, he should have been a member 30 or 40 years before that. Carter didn't get to be a member. But you know how that stuff goes sometimes. But that was the dream come true for him to get that. I played it many a time, sang a lead for him. But back this past January, I got to play the Grand Ole Opry as round 2 in the Clinch Mountain Boys. Did anybody see that or hear it? When we done it? That was the first time I ever got to do it, leading the band, and what a thrill. We got a standing ovation that night. That was so special. And it was on the 100th anniversary of the Grand Ole Opry at the Ryman Auditorium too. We played. That was the last weekend they had it at the Ryman. So. But we done this song on the Grand Ole. This is one of the songs we done on the Opry that night, Rank Stranger. to Thank you so much. Stanley, y'all seem to enjoy that mandolin playing Stanley's doing tonight. So, this is definitely one all you dancers are going to want to get involved in this one. Rawhide. So, I'll let Stanley do a little rawhide. Caleb don't play bass a whole lot, but like I said, he's doing a great job. Now, this is really going to be the test for Caleb tonight. Because at the end, Caleb, he plays it like 500 mile an hour. He does. It might be 1,000. We'll see. It just depends on how Stanley's feeling that night, so I don't know how he's feeling tonight. You feeling pretty good? All right. Well, he ain't looking too good, but as long as you're feeling good, that's all right. All right, you ready? All right, let's do it. I put out a CD about 12 years ago that had 2 songs on it that really done real good for me. Wilder Than Her and Bluefield. And I've got that available actually nowadays on a USB drive for all y'all that's buying a new car. You can, I've got you covered because a lot of the cars don't put a CD player in them nowadays unless you request it. So I do have some USB drives, and I'm going to do Wilder Than Her now, and I don't see the gal that asked for it. Right over here, you are. You had to sign a cap for you there a while ago, said he's Wilder Than Her. All right, so we appreciate that, and we're going to sing it for you. and I'll do Bluefield here in just a little bit. But this will showcase some of Curtis's hidden talents on the guitar. He'll do this little guitar thing. She's a house on fire. She's got all those charms. I'm a house on fire too, but I've got for a long. I'm wilder than her, drives her out of her mind. I guess she thought that she was one of a kind. She's a summer storm. I'm a hurricane. One blows through the town, one blows the town away, and I'm wild. She says I'm crazy, and she's probably right. I guess that's the reason that I'm twice as white. I'm wilder than her, knocks her out of her mind. I guess you thought that she was one of a kind. She's a summer storm. I'm a hurricane. One blows through the town, one blows the town away, and I'm wild. She takes my hand, looks me in the eye. I see something I've never seen in my life. She takes the bottle and turns it down. She takes the knife and makes it not so cold. She takes the distance, breaks it into my heart. She makes my life just a little less wild. I'm wilder than her, drives her out of her mind. I guess she thought that she was one of a kind. She's a summer storm. I'm a hurricane. One blows through the town, one blows the town away. And I'm wild. That's good. Been a good song for me through the years. The only one that don't like that song is my wife. She's the only one that don't like it. No, she likes it, I think. I hope she does. Good song. Caleb, you want to say a word or two about anything? Or how do you feel to be playing a little? I know you normally play a guitar, but how do you feel to be just playing a little music again with the Clinch Boys?
Well, I tell you, honestly, I'm like a tight pair of pants. I'm ready to rip. Now, Ralph treated me well. I was with him 3.5 years. I don't know exactly, but like I said earlier, he's been one of my greatest bosses I've ever had. He's a great guy, and you can't beat him. If you need anything, he's there for you. And if he needs anything, I try to be there for him and return the favor. But anytime he's in your area, if you can see Ralph too, the Clinch Boys, you ought to go. They put on a good show every time. And they're just hard to beat. Yeah, I'll be filling in with them at the festival, Memorial Day weekend. It's a Wednesday through Saturday, but I'll be there Thursday through Saturday. That's when Ralph plays. Yeah, I'll be playing guitar, not bass. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure you'll have a big old crowd. And if you ain't got your tickets yet, you better go on and get them.
There's still a few campsites left. I know a gentleman said he's going to call tomorrow. The number's on the bottom of the flyer, so I don't know how many we got left, but there's a few campsites left, so if y'all like to camp. Campers, where we got tent camping, we got very nice showers. I built a brand new bathroom facility up there a few years ago. That really helped the place. Brand new showers, brand new bathrooms. That really, if you've been up there before, that was one weakness that festival had, was the bathroom. But now, I fixed it, so we don't have to worry about that. So that helped with 100%. So good old Mountain Dew out here for these young gentlemen. Good to have y'all with us tonight. Now, y'all camping out or what up there? Y'all coming in to camp or just driving in for a day? Stay one night, all right. Well, glad y'all coming. Good old Mountain Dew for you. recorded. Dad, I think Dad sang tenor with me on that. Carrying On album, that's over there available. It was another Grammy-nominated project. And I guess now the song Bluefield, I had a few requests for that, so I guess we want to go ahead and do that for you. Here she is on the front row, said you're living in Bluefield now. Saw me in Edgar, West Virginia when I was singing with my dad, right? Probably what, 15, 20, yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that works for me too. All right, so this is a real, like I said, this has been a good song, and I think y'all enjoyed it. If you haven't heard it, it's a good story. Listen to the words.
Probably more than 70 sold. It's around that. They're about gone. So if anybody likes to collect knives, it's a stag bone handle. And Barrett & Son, American made, Barrett & Son Knife Company made them. So it's legit, and it's got on the blade, it says 1 of 100 made. 30th anniversary, Ralph Stanley II. It's got a picture of my dad and I on the box that it comes in. And because my dad gave me the job, singing lead for the Clinch Mountain Boys August the 8th of 1995. So I consider that the day that I became a professional musician.
Yes, sir.
But I've been traveling since I was 2 years old. But that day right there, when he had enough faith in me to be the lead singer and stand by him and do what Carter done and Keith Whitley done and all them guys, all them greats that he had before, that meant the world to me, and that's the day I considered my career started. But anyway, the knife, and how many of y'all ever like to go to Nashville and run around and hang out on Broadway and stuff like that? A few of you? Well, coming up in September, Eric Church's bar has booked this band. It's called Chiefs. So when I signed with the new booking agency out of Nashville a week or two ago, or whatever it was, they called them right off the bat and booked us. They'd heard us on the Grand Ole Opry somebody had, and so we're going to be at Chiefs Bar on Lower Broadway, Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know how much bluegrass they have in there, but I'd sure love to see a lot of my fans show up and be there with us and be there that night. That'll be a fun night, so y'all keep that in mind. That is September 24th, 5th, something like that. It's on our website, route2.com. Curtis, are you ready? All right, here it comes now. He's real good at this, so don't give him too big a hand, though, because he'll want a raise, and I can't afford to pay him any more than I'm already paying. You ready?
I hope so, right?
Go around the
maybe sometime, we'll talk to Rita about it, and y'all try to come back and be with us, but just follow that Route2.com tour schedule, or Route Stanley the Second and the Clinch Mountain Boys Facebook. It's Route Stanley the Second, and CMB, I think, CMB on Instagram. So just follow us on all that stuff if you do that, and we pretty much post everywhere we're going to be. Come be with us, we'll always do our best to put on the best show we know how, and I sure do hope to see a lot of y'all up at the 54th Annual Dr. Ralph Stanley Memorial Bluegrass Festival. It's going to be good. We've got a great lineup. That new band, Authentic Unlimited, how many of y'all heard them so far? Anybody? They're a great group. They're going to be there on Wednesday night, kicking on their headlining the first night of the festival. They'll be going on like 8 o'clock up there Wednesday night at the Hills of Home. But we've got a great lineup all weekend. That don't even start the band. I don't know, we've probably got 20-some bands, and Larry Sparks, Blue Highway is going to be with us. Shoot, I can't, who else we got? Just grab one of those flyers. Yeah, Cody Norris will be with us. Cody Norris. So he'll be with us too. So we've got a great lineup. So I guess we'll let Stanley close us out with a little Orange Blossom special tonight. He does a great job on that. And Stanley, have you sold the CD or anything yet? Well, I was going to say, if you had somebody buy something off of it, because he really needs some money. He don't really need the money, and everybody that he owes does, that's for sure. But we thank y'all so much, and we hope you have enjoyed yourself tonight, and we hope to see you down the road real soon. Thank you so much.
Y'all,
so much. Thank you, Lily. Love you, honey. Always glad to be with you. Well, I guess we ought to do another fast one so we can everybody can dance. Well, I was thinking about Clinch Mountain Backstep. You want to do it 84 tonight? We'll do that. Now, we will be over here at the table if anybody didn't get a chance to come by. I'll be back over here if anybody wants to come by. Shake a howdy and sign whatever that you like or whatever. And so this is a tune that my dad wrote a long time ago, one of my favorite. This tune and Foggy Mountain Breakdown is probably my two favorite banjo tunes of all time. And this one here is Clinch Mountain Backstep.
Let me get in.
Curtis, you want to say anything about that song before we do it? I'll do the drum part.
Well, like you said, I think his dad wrote this song back in the 1950s sometime. There's actually a black and white TV show recording of them doing it. I think it's a Pete Seeger show. It's really good. That's where I learned it from. So here it is, Clinch Mountain Backstep.
Have a nice hand for Ralph too, and Clinch Mountain.